Okay.
Hey, this is Mark. We are putting together a video to show you some of the spring work that we do here at Triple B. So, just a heads up, this is not a killing video.
Don't say that, Mark. Nobody will watch it.
Oh, dang it! Hey, it's Mark. So today is Monday, March 4th, and we are back at Triple B, rolled in this weekend to get some spring pre-food plot work done. This segment is going to be about kind of some of the work that's going on in the properties. We've got John Hall in West Virginia and Pawpaw, West Virginia, who had in January Dave Richmond and the Whitetail Obsession consulting work done. They came out and helped John design his new property with some bedding area and food plots, and he's been doing some chainsaw work. So when you start back at the basics of you don't have anything, you start with chainsaws, right, and create bedding area and food plots. So he's been working on that. A couple weekends ago we were in North Carolina at my brother John's property, and he's got a decent amount of ag land, which you'll see when we show some of his videos, but we were working on a food plot there. So it was really about finishing mower and his daughter on a tractor and getting ready to do some food plots there. So Triple B is a little bit different. We're in year 8 of this property, and we have an established about 2 acres worth of clover. It's still dormant, right? Beginning of March now, but deer and turkey are still in it. I think we saw 6 longbeards in the field this morning. My wife was a little upset because we want to come out and have coffee in the morning, and when the turkeys are in the field, they don't let her come out. So you'll get to see how close it is to the cabin. But so we're here now, established food plots. So my plan today is to refill feeders, because we run feeders after deer season up until legal time to remove before turkey season. But primarily we run corn and protein in those, just added nutrition. Does it help? I don't know. A lot of speculation about whether or not it makes a difference if you're running those, but everything we've done up to this point has really been about does and the health of the doe herd and the fawn herd. So we provide some food in the winter when everything's dormant and crops are all out. And then we're going to work on overseeding, frost seeding the clover plot. So weather was a little crazy this year. I came up a couple weekends ago to go do it because it was still really getting cold at night, and the frost seeding would really take a hold and pull some of the seeds down in the ground as the temperature changes and the soil freezes and then thaws. But when I came up, we got like 7 inches of snow, so couldn't do that. Now I'm back and it's really warm. Today's gonna be like 70 degrees. It's gonna get a little cooler again, but may not have as much of the temperature change needed to draw the seeds down into the soil. But on the flip side of that, today's the last day before we get, a couple 3 days worth of rain. So hopefully nothing washes off, but we're gonna get the seed down, let the water push it down in, and we'll see how it goes. But that's the plan for today. We're gonna fill up feeders, cut some trees that have fallen over the trails, change our camera cards, see what we've got in inventory on the feeders, and then we're gonna frost seed. I don't want to call it frosty. Now it's really overseeding the clover field. So hope you enjoy. Okay, so just to give you a feel for what we do with our feeders too. So we run about 3-to-1 corn to protein pellets in our feeders. And again, we run them for about 3 months. So just Tractor Supply, good old fashioned corn. We run, this year we're running a Sportsman 20% protein pellets that we mix in. So we're gonna go fill these up, got the electric steel chainsaw to cut down the little trees that are in our way. And then we'll work on the food plot. So hard to tell, but right about where the line changes here, that's a dormant clover plot. And we got a little bit away from us towards the end of the year. So there's some dead weeds and things in it that we're gonna worry about later. But we're gonna get to overseeding that as soon as we get the feeders filled back up. So, like I said, we run some 600-pound game yard feeders, courtesy of Academy Sports. That's where we got both of these. We run them off solar panels, so we don't have to worry about batteries. Only thing we gotta do is come back and fill them up every once in a while. So we're gonna do that now. Give you a feel for what that looks like. Let's see the inside of this. Yeah, so it's almost empty as expected. So we're gonna get a little bit in this one. We can't fill them up because they won't run out by the time turkey season gets here. So we won't completely fill them, but figure we'll do 3 to 1, 3 corn, throw in the protein. All right, that's enough for now. But some people mix them, pre-mix them and dump them so they're fully mixed in. But I think the conical shape at the bottom of this feeder does a pretty good job of mixing layers as they come in. So it gets a pretty good mix out on the ground. And feeders went off this morning and it's already empty. So we'll change camera card and get to see what's coming to the feeder. So that's it for this one. All right, so first feeder, filled it up. I hit the test button just to make sure it's still throwing. There is a muddy camera. I've changed the card on it. This trail that we drove down is what we call the Chevy Trail. So not too far from the clover field. The end of this, while we're driving out, you'll get to see it's the clover field where we shoot a lot of our turkeys. But here is what we call the Chevy Trail. So you look right here in the woods is I believe it's a 54 Chevy. So still got the nameplate on it. But yeah, somebody did a number on that one and they decided back in a long time ago, they were just gonna drag it back in the woods and let it sit. So we've let it sit also. But yeah, that's what we call the Chevy Trail. So you can see the green barn, you can see the cabin behind the car, but this is a trail. In fact, it was probably right here where I shot my 2022 turkey. I haven't put that video out yet, but you can see scratching. So we've got them all throughout here. So anyway, more to come. This is what we call the turkey feeder. So that trail we just came down became the long leg of a turkey. Got a couple side trails off of it. You look at it, it's like a turkey foot with a spur. That's what we call it. So this is the turkey feeder. I'm going to do the exact same thing I did on the last one and pull the card and see what it looks like. All right. So filled that feeder up. The turkey feeder, we're running a test cycle. Make sure everything's working. Pretty sure it was. This one we run a browning camera. It was a muddy on the other one. We had some brownings and they lasted, call it 4 years before they started dying. This one might be on its last leg. The date and time was all messed up, so I fixed that. But you can see what we were driving up. Just a whole lot of turkey scratching. So all the way up through there, we've got a nice cut around here. Let me talk about what's here. So we've got a nice draw that runs down through here that I am going to kind of figure out how I can use that as an access point, because we usually walk up that trail that we were on. It's just not a good way to access this property and the stands we put back here. But up top, off of our property line, and our property line goes up probably 100 yards, but on the next property over, just a super tall, good bedding field. They don't hunt, they don't do anything, but got a bush hog trail around it. So we got some really good bedding up there. Our plan will be, because the only food plots we have are in the front 40, and this is in the back of the back 40. Our plan's going to be this year, because we put some stands back here. Bobby killed his big one 2 years ago back here. Our plan's going to be bring the forestry guy out and let him show us what we can take down, but try to clean out some of these trees behind the side-by-side and probably put a food plot back here. That's kind of our long-term goal, just to make sure we've got food back here. Primarily, I'm thinking it's going to be a late season plot, brassicas and what have you. So we got to get the forestry guy out, and since it's all in classified forest, he can tell us what we can take down, what we can't, give us a little bit of a plan. But the canopy, when the leaves are out, it's just too dark back here. Not enough light hitting the ground to be able to grow any food plots. We tried to throw some out one time and they grew, but no root structure developed and they just kind of laid over. So we're gonna try to open this up a little bit. Might be a summer plan. Get this done, get this area kind of food plotted out. It's kind of that's the long-term plan. So that's it for feeders. Swap the cards out. Probably go check the cards, see what's on them, and then we'll work on frost seeding. Okay, so just got back from doing feeders and pulled cards, and I will tell you, I am a trail cam freak. I love taking all the pictures that we do. We run 3 cell cams, the Tacticam reveals, and then we've got regular non-cell cams out on feeders and mineral stations. So it's great for catching inventory. It's great for watching your property, make sure nobody's on it, but it's great for inventorying the deer that you've got. And it's just cool to see the wildlife and see how they interact. So anyway, pulled 2 today, and we have like 4,300 pictures on one camera and like 5,000 pictures on another. It was like 3 weeks, I guess, since we pulled cards. But I'm gonna look through these and I'll flash up pictures of anything cool that we see. Okay, now that the easy work is over, we got the feeders filled back up. We pulled the cards, got some interesting pictures that I showed you. Right now, it's time to throw out this clover. So again, we started 6 years ago. We've had a couple runs now of full clover. We've been using Whitetail Institute Imperial clover the whole time. So I'm going to overseed with some clover now. Same stuff, Imperial clover. This year, we're probably going to branch out a little bit. I've never done really a winter plot. Tried once, wasn't real successful with it. So we're going to try probably some different blends, maybe Domain. I think they've got some good winter plots that we're going to try, but we're going to overseed with the Whitetail Institute clover now. I'm going to give the Hooyman a shot. So bought the Hooyman manual spreader. First time I've used it. Like the features that were on it. And we're going to walk. I've got an acre and a half here at the cabin, and I've got 2 smaller plots that are about a half an acre. So I have plenty of clover. I got 2 acres worth of virgin plot clover seed. So big fan of overseeding clover. I'd rather have more clover than less. I think it helps keep my weeds under control. You will see as I go walk and do this, we did have some weeds that kind of took over towards the end of last year that we didn't get knocked back in time. And I will, once green up starts and the weeds start growing again, I'll hit it with some IMOX, which is a herbicide for both, that'll handle both grasses and broadleaves. So we'll hit it, mow it down, but I want to get this seed out now before the rain comes in tomorrow. So we're going to go give it a shot and see how the Hooyman does. Okay, first pass, the Hooyman seems to be working pretty good. Had the gate deflector on, keep clover around the edge, but now I'm going to open it up and just start getting it all done. We'll see how it goes. Well, I think the Hooyman worked just fine. So it took a little bit of adjusting the gate. I set it on one. I don't think I was throwing enough seed, but in the spots where you've got leaves, you can start hearing it. So I'm a bigger fan of going light to begin with and going over it twice, which is kind of what you saw me do. And then I opened the gate just a little bit more and more started coming out. So that's 1 acre. I've got about a half an acre left at this one and 2 spots up front that are about a half an acre. So, but overall, I think it worked as marketed. Pretty good video online, easy to put together. So that's it. Okay, so just got done with the 2 acres of clover overseeding. Hooyman did great. You can see it's got a little bit of blue powder on it. That comes off the seed from the Imperial Whitetail Institute clover. I think it's a coating for protect it from drying out if you don't get enough moisture right away. Either way, it worked great. A couple things that I wanted to mention about it that I thought were super helpful for me, because I've done a lot of manual throwing before. There's a really cool window up top that allows you to look down and see how much seed you have. There is a deflector that helps keep seed where you want it. So if you're walking along an edge and you don't want to throw it in your yard, you can close the deflector up, the deflector gate, or you can open it up. And then it's got super easy, and I was talking about this earlier, gate dial. So clover is recommended a 1 because it's very fine seed. I actually went a little bit, like 1 1/4 is ultimately where I got to, because you can hear it falling and hitting some of the leaves and some of the things in the plot, but about 1 1/4. And then obviously the harness. So I wasn't carrying a lot of seed today, 8 pounds of seed total for 2 acres, but it holds up to 35 pounds, I think. But great, comfortable harness to wear, easy to put on. So anyway, good job on the Hooyman, and we got the clover overseeded. The one thing I didn't mention that we're going to do now, I won't go over a video of this, but soil sample test. So I did not do it last year. I am getting ready to go do soil samples here, and I think it's super important. Food plots are expensive, right? It's not cheap to do food plots. It's not hard to do food plots. But if you're going to spend your money to do food plots, to do what we try to do here, you want to make sure you're not wasting money on fertilizer, and you want to get the most out of whatever it is that you're planting. So soil sample every year, recommend doing it. It'll tell you your lime, your NP and K, the things that you need to make sure you get on the fertilizer, get fertilized down on your clover. In our case, I'll send off soil samples, get them back from Whitetail Institute less than a week. It'll tell me how much lime to put, how much NP and K to put. We'll spread that next. This is a plot that's really 2 years old, so it's got some legs left in it. Usually about 5 years or so we replant them overall, but want to make sure we continue to get the fertilizer down too. So anyway, it's been a busy day, but knocked a bunch of stuff out today. I think I've got enough time left once I get everything put away back in the barn to do a little shed hunt. So hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you later.